Hello everyone, this is Michaelangelo Hamilton here on politics and stuff, and this is a tropical update powered by Mike's Tropical Weather Blog, and we have, hold on here, we have some audio interference. Let's close that off. Okay, so here we go. We have the audio fixed now, everyone. This is Michaelangelo Hamilton here on Max from Max Tropical Weather Blog, giving you a tropical update with Cheryl Ashmore here from Max Tropical Weather Blog 2 on politics and stuff. And we have a very important update to provide for you today. There's going to be some interesting developments throughout the day today, and we're going to go ahead and go into those. So let's go ahead. Make sure everyone can hear us and see us. Please comment below if you're hearing this properly and everything like that. Comment where you're from. Let us know we can hear you, and we'll go ahead and get started in a few moments here. So, thank you again for joining. We're going to go ahead and get started in just a few more moments. Alright everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. Please remember to invite, like, and share this video so we can get out this important information for you. And we're going to go ahead and get started. You're looking at the satellite imagery of Hurricane Irma right now. And what I wanted to show you is the current structure of the system and how the eye is now popping out and how there's a lot of cloud cover around the convection, and there's this band here, and it's eventually going to join with this band, and it's going to become larger. So it's undergoing a process right now that's intensifying. Last update we gave, this was a category 2, now it's back up to a 3, and it's still staying at 115 miles an hour. So the last advisory was at 5 a.m. at 115 miles an hour. The new advisory at 11 o'clock is also at 115 miles an hour. So let me go ahead and grab my pen here, and we're going to go ahead and analyze the satellite data. This is this loop here. You can see from when we did an update last all the way up to today, up to this time frame. So I'm going to go ahead and use that for a historical reference, so we can see what the conditions were like last time we gave an update, and you can see the difference, a big difference, and that has been with this intensification. So National Hurricane Center, screen didn't change. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see here. I gotta take out. Nope, I gotta keep that there, and there we go. Alright, so this is the satellite imagery. Thank you, Helen, for stating that. Greatly appreciate it. So this is the current satellite imagery of the system. Let me see here. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a look at our comments to see if we're now broadcasting the computer. Hello Benji, how's it going? Hello Helen, thank you for joining. Please remember to like and invite others to this video. And please remember to drop a like for Max Tropical Weather Block. Okay, so now it looks like the screen is back up. That's good. Awesome. So this is the system. Perfect. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, everyone. So this is the system right now. Let's slow this down a little bit. Let's go back. So we're starting this at 1545 Z. 1545. Let's see here. That's around 8 o'clock last night. 7:45 last night Eastern time. So we're gonna start the clock back yesterday at about 7:45. That's around 7:45. This is the way it looked like yesterday at 7:45. Small eye, smaller in size, and looks a little weaker than it is now. And let's go ahead and let that play slightly. Remember to take a look at this timestamp on the top. Now we're into today, midnight, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and let's pause it. Let's pause it right at 4. And let's go ahead and go back to that conversion table. 4Z. Oh, I probably read the wrong column. Hold on, everybody. Let's see here. What time did we start this back up? So let's say 15Z. Okay. So 15Z is 3:40. So that's 11:40 a.m. Okay. So sorry about that. Sorry about that. So 15. Let's say 15:45 is 11:45 yesterday. This is how it looked at. This is how it looked like at 11:45 yesterday. And now let's go up to. Now this is today. This is at 15Z. So slightly after 15Z. So this is like 8:10 yesterday. And let's see here. Well, this is over the midnight hours or so. What I want to show you is 5 a.m. 9Z. Okay. 9. That should be 9. Okay, so. Alright, so it looks like. Hello, Jessica. How's it going? It looks like this is about 5 a.m. if I'm not mistaken, according to that chart. This is how it looked like at 5 a.m. yesterday. Well, 5 a.m. today. And this is how it looked like yesterday. Big difference in size and intensity. And that last frame, we're going to the latest frame, 1515Z, which is 1515, 11:10 a.m. Eastern. Well, it's 12 right now, but we're way ahead of that graph might not be accurate. But again, this is the latest frame here. And yes, it grew overnight. It is now a Category 3 hurricane with winds of 115 miles per hour. It grew in size, and it's going to continue to grow in size over the next 3 days. So now it's beginning its growth process. It's nearing 15, I believe, longitude. And that means it's exiting the dry air, and it's going to enter more favorable conditions. It's going to be entering favorable conditions in this area, so it's really going to take off over the next four or so days. Everyone in the Leeward Islands in Puerto Rico, New Cone has the entire island of Puerto Rico, and that means I would recommend start getting things prepared. This system is going to be very large, and it's going to be providing rainfall and probably flooding associated with this, regardless of where the center is. Now, as you can see, there's some dry air trying to infiltrate it, but that's not really a factor because once it moves past this 50 longitude, this band here is just going to wrap around the convection and it's going to provide more energy to the system. So this is the current analysis of the satellite imagery, and let me go ahead and play that through. Let me show you how it looked like earlier, last time we gave an update. Let's let that play through. So this is like yesterday and this is now today. Big difference, as you can see, convection blew up over the night, forcing the National Hurricane Center to provide it Category 3 status. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the National Hurricane Center advisory, the 11 o'clock advisory, the latest information that we have. So Hurricane Irma is now Category 3, moving west-southwest. They are now moving west-southwest. We saw that last night. And it's looking at 17.7 north, 48.4 west. It's moving west-southwest at 14 miles per hour. The pressure has dropped about 10 millibars, so it's showing signs of strengthening. At 969 millibars, maximum sustained winds are 115 miles per hour. This is the latest forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center. And now we have some more information regarding the track of the system. Last time we did an update, we had only up to Thursday. Now with a good amount of confidence, they're now saying it should be entering the Bahamas on Friday. So that's going to be a major concern for the Bahamas. And now the cone also includes the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and the entire island of Puerto Rico. And that's some of the major developments I've seen from the last update. Is now they're including Haiti here, Dominican Republic, the entire island of Puerto Rico. And that's going to be important for its future, track. So this is where it's at today. The X is 11 a.m. Right now it's 12, but this is the latest advisory we have. It's suspected to continue moving west-southwest, and then it hits the ridge at about 8 a.m. Tuesday. Then it makes some sort of beeline or maybe landfall at about 8 a.m. Wednesday over the Leeward Islands. Brushes very close to Puerto Rico on Thursday morning and early hours on Wednesday. Then by Friday morning, it should be near the Bahamas. However, remember this is the cone of concern, so the center of circulation could be as far west as this point, or as far east as this point over here. So there's a large amount of uncertainty where the center will be, but there's high confidence that it's going to take this track at least up to Friday. The new advisory at 5 o'clock this evening should provide some new information regarding the track and new information for the models, because there's a hurricane recon aircraft going into the system right now later today, and that's going to provide us some key vitals regarding how strong is the system, the center fix, and they're going to put that into the computer models. The computers are going to do the new math and calculate here where this thing is headed. And there's high pressure is the main driving steering for this system. And depending how strong that ridge is, will determine its track. So if that ridge is strong enough to push it farther west, then it'll go farther west. If the ridge is strong enough to the ridge is not that strong, we'll see the exact pinpoint of the National Hurricane Center's line coming out. And then if the ridge is very weak, then it should be that last like line in that cone. So we know for sure it's going to be somewhere in this area by Friday, and by the next advisory or two, we should see the point for this area where it will be on Saturday. So this should be Saturday of next week, and it should be somewhere within here. The cone might make that curve, or it might continue to make that beeline and make that curve. So we're going to get some key information regarding potential impacts to the United States here over the next advisory or so. So we're looking at the 5 p.m. advisory coming in later today. We'll give an update at midnight and 11 o'clock. So we'll give those updates at the respective times. We'll go ahead and provide you an update at around 11 p.m. with the 5 and 11 p.m. update as well. But this is what we're looking at today. We're trying to see here where is this going to go. We'll go ahead and take a look at the forecast models too, to see what's been going on, and take a look at the forecast discussion from the National Hurricane Center, which tells us the reason. They're going to tell us why they changed the track to include the whole state, the whole territory of Puerto Rico, and parts of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, because that's a new thing now. I'm looking at here just from looking at this. And I see we have some questions and comments. There's some Hurricane Hunter aircraft going in. I'm not sure if it's manned aircraft. I know they're doing unmanned aircraft, which is something new that they're doing, which is pretty cool. No one risking their lives, so hopefully it will be an unmanned aircraft. If not, go Hurricane Hunters. God bless them. They go into like the heart of this stuff. So let's see here. We have a lot of comments. So let's go ahead and get to those. Hello, Teresa. Do we know where it's headed? Well, we know up to Friday at this point. Friday, it should be near the Bahamas. And if this continues to move in this westward track, we could have some impacts in the United States and Florida. But it depends how far west that Bermuda High wants to push this thing. So that's going to be later down the road. Now, the main concern I have right now for the United States impact right now is Puerto Rico and some U.S. territories, Virgin Islands there. That's the first area that's going to get brushed by this thing. This is probably the first like impact it will have on like the United States territories. And it's going to probably get as close compared to the Haiti and the Dominican Republic. It might not get that close. Now, if it goes over that, then it's going to weaken. So that's another factor. So let's go ahead and field some comments here. Hello, Steve. No problem. Hello, Orlando. You're in St. Croix. Well, I could go in and take a look at St. Croix, and I'm going to zoom in for you if that helps. I'll go ahead and look up the Leeward Islands. I can't remember on the top of my head where exactly that is. And Craig, yes, the Hurricane Hunters are the bravest people in the world. The bravest people in the area. Oh yeah, well, they're brave. In general, they're very brave. Absolutely. Yeah, the odds of hitting Texas are really low. Yes. Very low for this system. But there's also another system behind Irma. We'll see how that plays out. I'm not sure if that will get as strong as Irma, just because Irma's taking up all of the heat ocean content. So that's going to be a major concern for whether or not the system behind Irma gets stronger. And St. Croix. I can look up St. Croix briefly for you, and you're saying it's headed directly for you guys? Yeah, I mean, all the Leeward Islands are in the cone of concern. Its eyes should be passing somewhere around this area. However, you know this thing is going to be very large, so everyone in this area, Puerto Rico, are going to be receiving a heavy amount of rainfall Wednesday to Thursday. It's going to be moving for at least a day in your general area. Should be heading out by Friday. So at least it's not a slow mover. That's the best news I can provide for you as far as that goes. But there's a high amount of certainty it's going to go in this general direction. It's been showing that for the last couple of days. So let's see here, St. Croix and the Leeward Islands. Let's see here, St. Croix. Let's zoom in here. Oh, okay, so St. Croix is like right here, right off of like a few, like I would say 50 miles or so southwest or southeast, I'm sorry, of Puerto Rico. So you're located right about there. It looks like the system is going to be moving in between Barbuda and St. Kitts near Antigua. These islands, it's probably going to be moving through these islands and then up through the Virgin Islands. So it's going to be moving at least up through the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas. Puerto Rico is going to be impacted probably with some rainfall. And as it moves outward, that's the main impacts we're looking at as far as the next. This is the main area it's going to start to impact by Wednesday or Thursday this week. And we're also having some more questions regarding the track. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look at what the forecast models are saying. One question, hi Jack. Does your model show a hit in New York? That's what the models have been showing. The last, not the last one. The last one actually has shown it hitting Washington D.C., Baltimore area. But there was a model that actually had the system making a hit on New York on 9/11. Ironically, but you know, you gotta take these models with a grain of salt. This is only giving us a general idea of where it will be going. So let's see here. Let me go ahead and pull this up. This is the latest noon model. So this is pretty new. No problem, Orlando. Make sure watches and warnings will probably go up for your area today or tomorrow. So please be aware of that. There's probably going to be a hurricane watch and warning issued soon. Just stay safe and make sure you're away from flooding. Let's see here. So 48 hours, 72 hours, there's a high amount of certainty that this system is going to be brushing the islands. And then we go into 108. Oh, wow. Okay. This model's being unprecedented with this. All right, that's a major concern right there. I would say that's a major concern. This is not far off from the reliable period. So I would say in the next 3 advisories, the National Hurricane Center is if this continues to play out, because this is a new run showing this, but if this continues to play out, they're going to have to forecast this moving more west than what we've been thinking since the last year. So right now, the American model is showing
it's already moving more west.
More west, absolutely, because of that high pressure is stronger than anticipated. And this model is showing here at 168 hours, 890 millibar, moving over the northwest Bahamas, near Florida, kind of, and curving towards the east coast. Let me go ahead and try to go up to the next hour. And the American model is now showing a landfall somewhere in the Carolinas. On September 12th. Let me go ahead and, that's as far as I could go. This is the newest version of the American model, just came out right now. So that's going to be concerning, and I think this is the system behind Irma, by the way. That's a more concerning forecast because that means more areas are going to be impacted along the East Coast. So that's a little more concerning. Let's see here. Hopefully that does not pan out, but if that continues to be shown tomorrow and the day after that, then they're going to have to go with whatever the models are saying. But, you know, whenever there's consistency, that means there's a very high probability of happening. And it looks like the European is in agreement with that too. So now we have agreement on both models, European and American, that this is going to be going more far west than previously anticipated. This is high pressure. They're anticipating this high pressure to be very strong, providing for this to go farther west. So that's a major concern. It's going to be very close, probably to Jacksonville maybe. I see your comments here. It'll probably affect northeastern Florida more than south and southeast Florida, just because it's going to be curving. So as it curves, it's probably going to get closer to one area of Florida, and that probably is Jacksonville maybe. This is the midnight run today, and now the American model at 12Z, which is just now, is showing essentially the same thing. So now they're in consensus here. So we're going to have to watch for that consensus over the next couple of days. And it's showing exactly what the American is showing. So now they're basically in sync with each other. And that means usually that something is good. That's usually not a good sign that they're in consensus with that type of track. Because this is the worst track scenario. But this is, let's see if we could go back to get an idea of, because last time we left off, a few runs have been running. So I want to go back here to the American model. Oh, okay. As you can see, almost similar to the European. But let me go back a run. 6Z, 6 a.m. today. If this shows the same thing at 6 a.m., then that's concerning. And it is showing the same thing at 6 a.m. So this has been showing the same thing for 2 runs straight, and they're both in agreement. And apparently, the system behind Irma, and this is unreliable, but it's showing this going to become a hurricane too, impact somehow Puerto Rico. This is a little bit unreliable at this point, but it gives you a general idea of the setup of the atmosphere. So that's interesting. So past 2 runs have been showing the same thing. Let's go ahead and go at midnight, because we didn't take a look at the midnight run because we were talking during midnight. So the run completed right after probably when we left off with you. Wow, midnight too. So the last 3 runs, the system has been, well, the GFS has been showing the system to make a more westward track than anticipated and make a landfall into the South Carolina-North Carolina border. So 3 runs, and if this continues throughout the day today, and the National Hurricane Center has, they have to go out 5 days. So every day we get closer to this, they're drawing a new point because it becomes more reliable. So this is September 9th. 150 hours, I believe it's 5 days. We're going to get some breaking information probably sometime today regarding the track and some impacts to the United States because, number one, if you're just joining us, hurricane aircraft reconnaissance is going to go into the system today at about 5 p.m., I'm told. That's going to be providing some new information regarding the intensity and the forecast of this thing. This is the current satellite imagery of it now. Let me go to this satellite imagery because that updates automatically. Let me go ahead and put the forecast points, and we'll go ahead and take some comments. There's a lot of comments going on right now. Definitely want to get to those. Winds have already changed here on St. Croix. Let me go ahead and pull up. Let me see if I can pull up comments on the computer here. I see some of your comments, but not all of the comments, and there was a lot more before that I wanted to get to. Cheryl is also here with us. We're going to take her question here. And let me see if I could get that video up for you guys. Just give me a second here. I'm closing up that screen a little bit. Well, let's take a look at the comments they already have here. I see here the winds have already
some
changed
of their
on St.
comments, but not all of the
Okay, let's
comments.
see here. There's audio.
There's a lot more
feedback
before
right now.
that.
Let's mute that. Date coincident with 9/11. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like this is going to coincide with 9/11. It's going to be ironic. Unfortunately. Let's see here. Okay, now we're up with the comments on the page. So let me go ahead and open this up. Now we're going to go ahead and take our comments, everybody. I hope this is Duran and the high pressure diminishes. This, yeah, it looks like that track over closer to Florida is now becoming true a little bit. It was showing that Friday, but now it's focusing back on that track. Let's see here. This is a real threat, serious climate change worldwide. By Harp. Interesting topic. We could go into that maybe another time, but I mean, maybe it's a possibility. I mean, who knows? But it's usually naturally made. I mean, it's bad enough naturally made. I mean, this is what we're looking at. It's naturally made. I'm not sure if it's man-made. There's a lot of accusations going out there that this is a man-made system, and there's like a weather system out there that creates these systems. I'm not going to speak onto that level because I'm not knowledgeable regarding HAARP, but climate change in general. Oh yeah, I mean, this is again in 1 to 2 degrees higher than average water. So this is going to be providing some energy that shouldn't be there, but is there. Looks like Cuba moved it west. Well, yeah, I mean, there's high pressure, and that's moving it closer to Cuba, Bahamas, and Florida. Apparently in the last 3 runs, which is consistency. Never mind, you see it now. Thank you so much. No problem, Orlando. If this stays on trajectory, will it hit the top of Florida and then build in the Gulf to hit the U.S. states? We don't think it will do that. Reasoning why is because there's going to be a high pressure developing over the United States, kind of, and a trough. So it's not going to go over Florida and into the Gulf. That's like a very, very low probability of that happening. There's some like ensembles that show that, and ensembles mean like a version of a model run that shows a certain thing depending on like different variables. There's 1 or 2 runs that show that, but that's not consensus. That's an outlier. So generally the Gulf is safe for now. Let's see here. The model does not show a hit on New York anymore. And let's see here. How much of the hurricane will be over you in St. Croix? Probably, this system is going to become very large. So at this point, it might be a category 4. It'll probably be a category 4 at this point once it goes over Puerto Rico-ish area and the islands there. So probably a large amount is going to be over you. Probably some gusty wind and rainfall. Okay, so you see here we're taking some comments. It'll bring a lot of rain to Florida, Alex says. According to these new runs, yes. It looks like this is what's going to be happening over the next couple of days. Looks like it's a more farther west track. So that's going to be concerning. Comet, magnetic energy, man-made, genetically modified manipulators of Monsanto and chemtrails. I mean, that's something to talk about. That's definitely an interesting topic. We'll try to get some information regarding that. But definitely, I know Monsanto is a very horrible company. They have chemicals in their products, and they get away with it. And they mess up a lot of crops and local farms and whatnot. I know not much about that issue.
Yeah, I'm listening to my phone.
Oh, you can hear us? That's good. We're fielding some comments now and questions. What part of the U.S. will it hit? It will be impacting the East Coast. So right now, new track has it moving far west. And you see these... let's see here. I think it's paused over that. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Is it paused over that? That would be strange if it paused over that, because I'm showing you the comment of this, like the live video of it. Anywho, do you all see this map maybe? That's probably a better question to ask than me figure it out. Do you see this map here? Not sure if you're seeing this. It looks like you all are seeing it. I can see it on my end. That's an interesting... Oh, okay, y'all can see this map. Okay. Alright, that's good. So yeah, this high pressure is going to be very strong, as you can see here in this run. At 20, even at 24 hours, even at initialization, over the next 24 hours, it's going to be very strong than anticipated, so that's very reliable. So that high pressure apparently is going to steer it very close to Florida, steer it more, actually more up towards the coast there. That was what the official models were showing. We have a few questions here. How about New York tri-state area? What could you guys see? You guys are probably going to see rain. If this moves right into the South Carolina border, probably going to see some rainfall, some gusty winds. I wouldn't rule out the possibility of tornadoes spinning up. Like yesterday, we saw runs going right into New York. So if you're in New York, this is a better scenario for you. But if you live in North Carolina, South Carolina, today it looks like we're talking about maybe a landfall in your area in the next 6 to 7 days. That's a stretch also. Anything in 6, 7, 8, 10 days forecasts are... they could change like this. They could change from being fixed on New York and now they're being fixed on the Carolinas. It could flip back and forth until Wednesday. But we should know more information because there's going to be a recon aircraft going in the system, getting some information and flying back. So that's going to happen at the 5 o'clock advisory or the 11 o'clock advisory. We'll have more information regarding that. Let's see here. Hello, Mitchell. The storm is making me anxious because you live in southern Georgia. I would be prepared. I would have all your preparations regardless. This is hurricane season right now as well. This is the peak of hurricane season, so this is probably not the only system we're going to see like this spin up. There's another system behind it, which we might have to end up talking about next week once it becomes the system. High probability of it doing so. So yes, just stay prepared. This is just a heads up for a lot of people. Just want to make sure people are aware of that. What part of the U.S. it will hit? Well, according to these past models, it's been showing a hit to North Carolina, South Carolina. That's what we're talking about today. That's what we're talking about today. It changed its fixation on New York on 9/11, and now it's moving more towards North Carolina and South Carolina. So let me go ahead here and show you what I mean. I could probably zoom in on here. Let me do that for you. Alright, I'm zooming in southeast United States. This is the GFS at midnight. Let's go to the latest run. Okay, well, since we're already on the midnight run, let's keep it there. And I'll show you the difference between the last 3 runs. And when they usually do this, this means that they have a high amount of certainty. So let's go all the way up to when we see the hurricane in this southeast U.S. region. And we can see that with a high amount of certainty at this point, in this general area, in 5 days. In 5 days, it'll be there on Friday, September 8th. That's going to probably be the point of this system on Friday, September 8th. Let me go ahead and come back here. Okay. All right. Sorry, I had to take care of something. All right, I'm back. Next point here. September, same day. This is Saturday. Now this is should still be within 5 days. Let's see. Well, that's just after 5 days, so this is 6 days away. September 9th, 6 days away. So by tomorrow, if this model continues to pan out the same way, European shows the same thing, this is where the National Hurricane Center is probably going to point it on Saturday. This is Sunday, September 10th, showing a curve farther away from the Bahamas, the northeastern Bahamas, but it's still going to be impacting top part, northern part of the Bahamas there. Then we're looking on Monday, September 11th. The system jumping very fast, closing in on South Carolina, North Carolina. And this is also a stretch now. Now it's showing a landfall at noon, September 11th, into the border of North Carolina and South Carolina. So this is midnight initialization. That means that's when this run was created. Let's go up slightly here. Go to the one at 6 a.m. or in the morning hours. Showing the same thing almost. So there's 2 runs showing consistency in that. Next, so this is 2 runs showing the same thing. The latest run, what does it show? Unfortunately, the same thing. So if this continues to pan out over the next day or two and consistently shows this type of pattern, then this type of pattern is probably most likely. But you know, these things change every 6 hours. Something new can be found in the hurricane that says, well, it'll go farther west than anticipated, or maybe it'll go farther east than anticipated. So this is the latest run. So I'm going to go ahead and play this through here. Let me slow that down a little bit. That's the latest run. European showing the same thing, unfortunately. That means there's some sort of agreement that this track is probably going to become true, but we'll know for sure by tomorrow and the day after that. Now, the European has been always farther more aggressive over having this move farther west. So it's anticipating that high pressure is going to steer it farther west. And let's go ahead and next day or the next few hours, it has it curving. Has it curving on September 11th there. And on September 12th, it has a stronger than the American, but same idea going into the Carolinas. And let's see when this run was created. Midnight. These runs happen every 12 hours, so this should be happening soon. The Europeans should be creating a new forecast. I could take a look at the another one of these models, their ensembles. Let's take a look at what the ensembles are showing. Now, unfortunately, they're showing the same type of area being impacted. NavGem. Let's see if there's consistency among all forecast models on this. NavGem. Wow. NavGem actually is more aggressive into that high pressure. So when this run was created? Today. Alright, so today is a very important day, everyone. We're going to know how will this be impacting the United States with a better idea. The recon should be going into the hurricane later today about 5 o'clock. But this is what the models are showing out. We're getting closer to September 9th. Now we're 5 days away almost. 4, 5, 6 days away from this. So we're getting closer to that 5-day period. The NavGem shows a 957 millibar hurricane move farther west than the European and the American, and has it stopped right there. That's the farthest I could go. It's still running apparently, or it did a complete run. That's a more farther west aggression, and that means if that pans out, more impacts can be felt for South Florida and Central, North Florida. So it might pan out to be a Florida impact brush along the entire East Coast type of storm after all. That's a interesting way to look at things here. Let me go back one run so I could get a full perspective. Same thing. So showing the same thing on, let's see here, Sunday. Wow. Well, the NavGem is more aggressive than all the models. This one is showing a direct hit towards south, well, I would say Jupiter, east of Okeechobee. Let's try to zoom in here. The NavGem is showing a landfall in Palm Beach County. This is Broward County, this is Miami-Dade, this is the Keys. So this is an outlier, as you can see right now, but it's not out of the question, because these things change again every 6-12 hours. So I just wanted to, this is the first time I'm looking at this run. It's an outlier because first of all, let's see here. The European took it more west but curved it faster. The American was like this, curved it. Now this is the UK, or the NavGem, which is the Navy model. Navy model has it farther west and going into Florida. That might not be out of the question. We'll have to see over the next day or two. But if that goes and does that, that wouldn't be good. Primarily for a couple of reasons. And a couple of reasons I know a little bit well right now. Quite well. So let's see here. First of all, that means you would have a lot of rain over South Florida. And we're in low-lying areas, so if this was to pan out, even with the center fixated up there, with this type of hurricane, we're talking about catastrophic flooding, along with factor in the sea level rise that we currently are being impacted by. So if this pans out, this is kind of like a worst case scenario for Florida. So just throwing that out there. It looks like this, the models are loving the whole East Coast type of brush. This one has it trying to go into the Gulf, apparently, or stalling over Florida. I'm not sure what this wants to do, but it has it going over Florida. But that's an outlier. Main consensus right now, according to the GFS, the European show a track that's generally going into the Carolinas. However, it's looking like at some point, it depends how far west that track goes. That's, I think, what we're looking at. It's depending on like how strong that high pressure is. And this is assuming, let me go ahead and back out because let me see if I could take a look at the high pressure. We'll go ahead and get to some comments. I see a lot of comments coming in as well. I want to zoom out. How do I do that? North Atlantic. There we go. I want to zoom out. Okay, so this model run, the NavGem. The NavGem assumes that number one. Let's see. This I did not put that. It assumes a couple of things. Number one, a system enters the Gulf, goes into Mexico. Number two, there's another system behind that, and maybe another system behind that. Who knows? This is kind of like a little bit unreliable. Let's see, what day is that? 144 hours. Well, yeah, so you're getting towards the unreliable range at 144 hours. But it's definitely interesting to take a look at least, so we have a general idea of what's going on. But this is the setup. High pressure right there, and if this were to pan out, that means this high pressure has to be so strong. And did you see kind of this trough here? That trough digs very deeply along with that high pressure. So according to my analysis here, that's the reason why this model takes it directly over Florida, according to this model, because according to what this is saying, there's going to be kind of like a trough here, and then the high pressure is going to block it from really making that curve. Has it directly going over Florida, and who knows what happens next in that run. This is an outlier, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out there. Do not get scared if you live in Florida. I would just be prepared, just in case, because we're in the entire East Coast here. East Coast has millions of people living here. I'm technically on the East Coast, so yes, definitely be prepared regardless, because that will be worst case scenario. This is worst case scenario. That means Florida will be impacted more. Worst case scenario for Florida. For the East Coast, not so much. For the entire East Coast, not so much, because it might miss it if it does that. But that's, again, an outlier. So we're going to go back here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some new stuff. We're going to take a look at some other stuff that we didn't cover yet in this video. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at the newest satellite imagery. And then we'll go ahead and take some questions. And then we'll be out. So let me go ahead and go back here. This is what I wanted to show you. This is called track model guidance. So it puts together all of the models and puts it on one graph for us. When these models are tightly together, that means, yes, we have high confidence that this will be in this general area, which we see in 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. That's why the National Hurricane Center, by the way, is making those points. 96 hours, 5 days. High confidence with those pink circles. Now, after 5 days is the yellow area. There's a general agreement that this should be taking that curve after 5 days. And it's going to depend again on how strong that high pressure is. We have one little model here showing a more westward track, and then the European. I don't think the European's included on this. The European showed a more westward track as well. So we're going to clear this up here. Just want to show you that very quickly. Next thing I wanted to show you is the ensembles. And the ensembles are showing something that's interesting. This is a new ensemble. 5 days, right about here, general consensus. 5 days at this point. 6 days or so, general consensus, that point, directly into the Carolinas. However, there's some runs that, or some variables that make it go further west, or that can make it go farther east than that point. So once we get out of 5 days range, that's how unreliable it can get. It could be anywhere on that line, anywhere on that line, anywhere on that line. As you can see, the closer we are to where it is now, the better we can know. But once you get farther out, it gets harder to predict where exactly that center is going to be. Okay, alright. I'm sorry I had to answer a message I was getting. But yes, this is what the ensembles are showing, American ensembles. And one last thing before I let everybody go. Another set of ensembles, and disregard this one. Please disregard that. That's out of the picture. That's highly likely not to happen, so please disregard that. But these runs, maybe, but kind of take that with a heavy grain of salt, because as you can see, main consensus is that general area. And also,
You there?
Yep, I'm here. Also, Matt Nelson, who's a climatologist, will be calling in with us on Wednesday to discuss Hurricane Irma. So we're going to have Matt on the phone with us on Wednesday as well. So be sure for that. He's a climatologist, and he has some opinions about the system. So he'll be calling in on Wednesday. Just wanted to announce that. We just got that confirmed just not that long ago, a few moments ago. So Matt Nelson, who's a climatologist, will be on the phone with us as well. Next thing here, let me go ahead and backtrack this. I want to show you model guidance. General agreement that this thing is going to become a Category 4 in the next 2 days here. Well, not general agreement. Let me take that back. There's some agreement, like half of them say it will, half of them keeps it at a 3. Most of them have it at a 4 in 5 days, so that's the general agreement. And let's see here. I'll go ahead and take the comments. Let me go back here on the satellite. Where is that satellite? There we go. This is the latest satellite imagery. It was moving west-southwest, but now it's taking a more northwest jog, which is interesting. Anywho, let me go all the way up here. Okay, Teresa, hello. The intensity of hurricanes is increased 1 to 2 degrees caused by climate change. Most likely, yes. That's a major impact. Also, there could be other factors involved with that. Let's see here. Okay, sea level rise. Yes, there is sea level rise. No problem, Norman. Norman says, thank you, Michaelangelo, for your hard work. No problem. We are more than happy to help bring this update. And I'm going to be bringing on Cheryl. Cheryl is on the phone with us. She's a hurricane expert with us, been one for a few years with us on the Max Tropical Weather blog. And I want to hear your thoughts a little bit as well regarding this system. What do you think is going to be happening over the next couple of days?
Who, me?
Yes. What do you think is
Okay. Looking at the satellite imagery, it is moving toward the west again now. And my friend Steve is on. No, I guess he's not.
And we have a question: how fast is moving westward? At about 14 to 15 miles an hour. It was moving west-southwest, but it looks like it's moving due west. They might have to fix that cone. That might be temporary. That's just something.
How fast is it moving on the last advisory?
I can pull up the last advisory here. Oh, I clicked it out. Let me go back. The latest advisory. Loading here. 14 miles an hour. It's right on point. Okay. 14 miles an hour.
Right. It's moving at a pretty good clip.
Estimated time arrival of tropical storm force winds. This is an interesting graphic.
It should be a little over 80. It should be 35 miles or 40 miles for the tropical storm force winds, and a little bit over 80 for the hurricane force winds. Because it's right at 80, it's about 160 miles in diameter. And going.
Thank you for that update there as well. Greatly appreciate your expertise. And let me go back here to the discussion, because we didn't read that. I would like for us to go over that briefly. Let's see here. You were talking about how big it is. To go over that. Tropical storm force wind. Yes. Tropical storm force wind extend 80 miles from the center. Hurricane force winds extend 25 miles from the center.
What?
Do you hear me?
That don't sound right.
Let's see here. It looks like it's saying hurricane force winds extend 25 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds extend 80 miles from the center.
How much? 80?
80 miles for tropical storm force winds and 25 miles for hurricane force winds.
All right.
And
Tropical storm winds extend 80. I was right the first time. 160 miles in diameter now.
yes. Just wanted to go over that quickly. Thank you for mentioning that. And let's go over the discussion. That's the last thing I want to go over before we depart and give you another update at midnight today. We might do an update at 5 depending if there's breaking news we have to bring to you. We'll go ahead and do that. But if there's not any breaking news, we'll go ahead and give you an update at around 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time this evening. But let's go ahead and take a look at the discussion. This discussion is a few paragraphs long. It may take us about 10 minutes to go through it all. So just want to throw that out there as well. Oh, we have a question as well. Hello, Benji. After it makes landfall, if it does, on the Carolinas, what would the sustain be? Great question.
We don't know yet.
We wouldn't know yet. I'm sure the models have some sort of feature that you can check on that. My guess is probably going to be category 4, if not a 5. At that point, there's probably a way to look at that. I'm not remembering that way right now. But yes, you're looking at probably at a category 4 if that does pan out. And by the way, Benji does live in the Carolinas. So, yeah, just be prepared. Anyone along the East Coast, just make sure you have your preparations. So, looks like this is the 11 a.m. discussion. So they're saying the eye of Irma is distinct or less distinct than the previous satellite images in the morning, which suggests that the hurricane intensity may be fluctuating again. Sustained winds are at 100 knots or 115 miles per hour, which is close to the consensus of the various objective and subjective satellite estimates. The first aircraft recon mission, a P-3 Hurricane aircraft. I think they meant Hurricane Recon aircraft. Yeah, probably Hurricane Recon aircraft. They put Hurricane 2 times. So a NOAA P-3 Hurricane aircraft is scheduled to depart Barbados. So this is coming from Barbados in the Caribbean for a tail Doppler radar mission. So they're going to do like a radar imagery pass because there's no radar out hundreds of miles in the Atlantic. Usually radar, equipment is like over land, like over Miami, or there's a radar equipment for the Carolinas that you can see the rain. There's no radar equipment all the way out in the Atlantic. So they're going to do a pass over it. Go ahead.
Not misses from the plane.
Exactly. Absolutely. And it looks like they're doing that this evening. They're going to be going for a radar mission this afternoon. And they said it should provide additional information on Irma's intensity by this evening. And they're going to be breaking news on that and on the forecast track. So they're going to do some scientific sampling. Next paragraph. So now they're talking about the high pressure ridge and that whole track situation. High pressure ridge over the central Atlantic is steering Irma west-southwest with a general motion. This general motion with some reduction in forward speed is expected during the next day or so. After that time, Irma is expected to turn westward, then west-northwestward in about 72 hours as it approaches the western portion of that ridge. The various census aids are generally a little lower than the previous advisory, but their cost track differences are smaller. As a result, the updated NCH track is very similar to the previous advisory and is close to a consensus of the European GFS, UK Met, and the WHRF, but is not far south as the European or the UK Met. So Irma is expected to move over slightly warmer sea surface temperatures and into a mid-level moistening environment. These conditions, along with favorable upper-level wind patterns, should allow for gradual intensification or strengthening over the next 2 to 3 days. However, eyewall replacement cycles could result in fluctuations in intensity over the next couple of days. While Irma is currently a small hurricane, models suggest that it will grow in size over the next 72 hours. How soon watches and warnings will have to be issued for the Leeward and Virgin Islands, and those islands should monitor the progress of Irma. So that's the first discussion. Now we're going into key messages. Irma is expected to be a major hurricane when it moves over or near the northeastern Leeward Islands by middle of this week. and it could provide dangerous winds, storm surge, and rainfall impacts, along with storm surf and rip some islands. Hurricane and tropical storm warnings, or watches, will be issued later today or tonight. So that's the time frame, by the way. Now we have that confirmed. Watches will be going up in those areas by tonight or later today in the afternoon, because this is going to be very close in your area in the next 3 days. So anyone in the islands, Puerto Rico, you're probably going to be under tropical storm, hurricane watches soon. Just want to throw that out there. Since we were talking about that earlier. Residents in these areas should monitor the progress of Irma and listen to advice given by officials. Yes, please listen to the advice by the Emergency Management and National Hurricane Center regarding Irma, especially emergency management. Please use that as a guidance. As far as making any important life decisions, please always listen to official forecasts. Okay, second point here. Direct impacts from Irma are also possible in the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico later this week. And tropical storm watches and tropical storm watches and hurricane watches could be issued for these islands tomorrow. So Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, you're probably going to be under a tropical storm or hurricane watch tomorrow. As the Leeward Islands, you're probably going to be under a hurricane or tropical storm watch today or tonight, because just the timing of this system. They have to do it within 72 hours before landfall. So that's just based on the projection of the system. Third key point, the possibility of direct impacts from Irma and Hispaniola, Turks and Caicos, and Bahamas. And the Bahamas is later this week is increasing. So, very important point to make. They're saying it in black and white for us right now. Possibility of direct impacts. Let me put this here. Possibility of direct impacts from Irma and Hispaniola, Turks and Caicos, and the Bahamas is increasing. Residents in those areas should continue to monitor the progress of Irma, given by government officials. And yeah, so now they're saying basically, because we're getting closer. So every day we get closer to September 9th and September 10th and 11th, and the models keep showing the same type of impact, the Bahamas being hit, the East Coast being hit. That eventually is going to pan out to be true if that continues to be the case. So that's what this paragraph is about. Very important point to be made. Now, about the United States, that's point 4. It's too early to determine what direct impacts Irma might have on the continental United States. Regardless, everyone in hurricane-prone areas should ensure that they have their hurricane plan in place, as we are now at the peak of hurricane season. That is the forecast discussion. And intensity forecast, this is supposed to peak at 140 miles an hour, 48 hours. So it's supposed to undergo a rapid not rapid, but it's supposed to go under some intensification over the next 2 days. It might be stronger than that depending on a lot of factors, but this is forecast position and max wind speeds. Close that out there, clear that, and go right back to satellite imagery. And let's go ahead and take a look at, apparently jogging slightly to the west a little bit. And I'm going to give it back to you, Cheryl.
Well, I just hear some echoes there.
Oh, there's echoes?
Yeah,
Sorry
here's
about
some.
that. Let me see if I can fix that. I'm sorry. What about now?
Let me see. No, I'm not hearing any echoes now.
No echo?
Like I said, it's moving toward the west.
Oh, yep. It's definitely moving in a different direction right now. It's been moving west-southwest, and now it's jogging a little bit west. Yep. And it might jog back down west-southwest. I mean, who knows? Yeah, this is hurricane forecasting. Well, we'll have to see if that drops back down west southwest. So it's not located here. It was west southwest consistently for the next couple of days, but now it wants to take that northern end of that track, which is probably a good thing. But it could easily cross back downward to west southwest. So who knows? A lot of uncertainty, kind of. It might be undergoing some eyewall replacement cycles, because the eyewall was clear earlier and now it's closing up again, so it's undergoing some strengthening. Another thing here that I wanted to point out: all that convection off of its like tail, or like from yeah, consider it a tail, because it's connected to the main core of the system, and this is the way it looks like. It's kind of like a spiral. It's going to continue to spin until all that convection is all wrapped around its core, and the day that that's going to happen is probably on the 5th, when it's category 4. It could happen earlier than that, but it depends on how strong this thing wants to get and how strong the recon finds the system today, right now, later today. So that's the latest we have. We'll also take some other questions, and then we'll go off and do another update later today at about 5 if there's a breaking news on this, and 11 if there's not breaking news on this. If there's breaking news on this, we'll go on at 5 and do one at 11 too. If there's not, we'll just go ahead and do one at 11 with the new advisory. And we see here, when is expected to make landfall in North America? September 10th, 9th, and 11th are possible dates for impacts in the United States. Jason, thank you for your question. So we're going to take a little break here, and if we don't get any other questions, we'll go ahead and come back on and see if we have anything else new to provide everybody, and we'll go ahead and end this. So we're going to take a very quick break, everybody. Alright, everyone. We are back. We are back from our break. Alright, everyone. Nope. We gotta lower that there. Okay. Alright, everyone, we are back. Let me take off this. We're back, everyone. Thank you for holding with us during that quick break. Latest on Irma right now is still a Category 3 system. The next advisory should be out at 5 o'clock. Something I wanted to show you. New images files are coming in. And it looks like it's getting larger. As you can see in that last frame. Not only is it larger, but it's moving slightly west. It moved kind of northwest-ish, and now it's moving west. So that track might be far. It might be off a little bit. We'll know in the next advisory. It's getting larger as we speak right now. As we took a break, it's the next frame here. You can see more round. It's not lopsided anymore. It's more circular. Once it becomes more circular, you know that essentially what it's doing is getting that heat ocean content from the water, rising it up to the clouds, and creating all that thunderstorm and convection. So that's something that we wanted to share with you since our break there. That's the newest developments happening right now. There's some convection forming right now as we speak into the inner core of the system. Refresh the RGB satellite. The last frame is, let's see, 1645 UTC. This last frame shows this whole line of convection and then spinning into its inner core. And then there's more convection spinning out from its outflow. So it's trying to, what it's trying to do right now is trying to get better organized and wrap all of that around its center and move. It's supposed to be moving west-southwest, but it's moving due west right now at the moment. So that's what it's doing right now. Let me go back a few. I paused it right there. You know, the loop drew out what's going on. Convection on that long tail. Outflow going out. It's trying to pull in as much heat ocean content, and these thunderstorms are strong as well. It's going to eventually go up into the system. It's trying to feed itself, essentially. So we're going to clear that up here. We're going to refresh this. And we're going to go ahead and let this play. Last frame there is becoming bigger and it's looking slightly stronger. So we will see what happens at 5 o'clock and then 11 o'clock for sure. We're going to have some interesting developments probably later today on this thing. So please stay out. Please, look out for that update. We're going to be live probably at 5, if not 11. And if we don't have any questions, I see you, Erman. How's it going? We were talking about the technology era and everything like that. Yep, there's technology out there. There's some interesting new technology out there, yes. Yep. Alright, well, I think that does it for us right now. That's about everything we have on Irma. Let me see here if there's something I missed. And then we'll go ahead and sign off, everybody. So let's see here. Anything I'm missing? Well, it looks like there is a mission going right now, a training mission. Not sure if this is related to the system. Well, I think that's about it. That's all we have for you right now. Please stay updated right here on Max Tropical Weather blog. You can go to www.maxtropicalweather.weebly.com. I'll take you to this page. If you want, you can join and sign up for our email updates here. If not, you can click no thanks. Also, you can visit our partner web chat. That's Cheryl's channel. And it's a place where you can chat about hurricanes and tornadoes in a clean and safe environment. You can click there to go enter. And I have to update this website a little bit. But this is our website. This is our website. Our email, we have to get back with our email. I lost access to the email. I don't remember the password and they're not letting me back in. So I don't know what's up, Google. I don't know what's up. Did I not log in enough times for y'all to not be... I mean, I'm like, Google, really? You're not gonna let me log in? I have a email with you guys that I use all the time, and I use that as a backup, and they're not letting me. The long story was for Google. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, we'll try to get that email working again. But yeah, this is our website. We'll try to update the website more often. We used to do text updates in writing, but we've been doing more visual presentations and videos. We've been doing this quite a while, to over 284 blog posts. So it's been quite a while. It's been a couple of years. So yes, everybody, that's the website. Please go there. Please like our Facebook page on facebook.com/maxtropicalweather. And we have a question, and I'm going to update this satellite imagery too because you can see the system better on this one a little bit. Someone says here, hello Kayla, someone told me this is a gimmick and it's fake. Is that true or not? It's definitely true. The National Hurricane Center is watching it. A lot of forecasters are watching it, so it is true. Tell us what you mean by fake. We'll definitely answer that question. You know, if someone told you it's fake, please elaborate why. Maybe you're talking about like man-made system or something like that, or HARP. I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll love to answer your question in more complete detail. But yeah, it's real. This is real satellite imagery. This is real National Hurricane Center advisories. Pretty real. But no problem. Just wanted to make sure that we are prepared. Because if this was fake, then we wouldn't be spending 1.5 hours on this. Sadly. So yeah. Oh, that the hurricane isn't. And okay, we got some other comments in here. Kayla's elaborating. She's saying that she heard it's not real about the hurricane coming. They said it's not true. Well, there's a lot of factors. I mean, let me put it this way, and I put it like this every time we have a question of where will we know? Will we know? Unfortunately, if we can know for sure 7 to 10 days out, we would not be having a what if conversation with you guys. You know, we would be telling you, hey, this is going to happen. And sadly, even with all of the technology we have, we can't go out 7 days and say for sure it's going to make landfall at a certain point because the models are all over the place 7 days, 10 days out. But if you have the models consistently showing a U.S. hit or U.S. coastal hit, and this continues to play out until Wednesday. This is the cutoff we're giving it. We're giving it the cutoff until Tuesday or Wednesday. If the models continue to show the same thing, just like Harvey, let's just put it that way as well. Just like Harvey, the models are showing it's going to make a loopy-loop. It's going to stay there. It's going to stay there for a week. It's going to stay there for a week. And then we got to the point where it was like, it's going to stay there for a week. We are looking at it right now. Over to stay here for a week. And that's kind of sad because, again, with all the technology and everything, you would imagine that 7 days is not hard to forecast for a tropical system. They have 7-day forecast for the local weather. Why they can't make a 7-day forecast for a hurricane? So, yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from, and where I guess your family's coming from on that. This is just a heads up to be prepared. Looking at the forecast that far out, I do agree you have to take a large grain of salt with it. But we're getting closer to the 5-day range, and the National Hurricane Center, the official forecast, is following what the models are saying. So, it's looking like this system might brush, in fact, the East Coast. So, there's the answer to your question. Just stay safe, Kayla. Stay updated. Thank you for your question. Hello, Matt. How's it going? You have a few minutes. Would you like to come on? I could do, no problem, Kayla. Let's see here. We don't have like a phone number to call in. That costs, that costs money. But yes, I would love for you to come on here. Would you like to come on earlier than you thought, or no? We confirmed him for Wednesday, by the way. So just let us know whatever you want to do, and we'll try to accommodate that. Yep, I'm waiting for Matt to respond. Okay, Matt. Okay, so let's bring on Matt Nelson, who is, let's see here. We're going to be bringing on Matt Nelson here in just a few moments. Well, not just a few moments, well, we'll see. Well, he's definitely confirmed for Wednesday. If you'd like to come on earlier, we're happy to take you right now as well. Greatly appreciate you coming on as well onto our live feed. Kayla, what about the second one on your video, or your other videos? The second one, great point to make. Yes, she's talking about the second system. So this system out in the Atlantic behind Irma. So let's go ahead and give an update on that. Latest information. Tropical wave located 700 miles southwest of Cabo Verde Islands is producing a disorganized area showers and thunderstorms and is currently displaced west of the wave axis and can become a tropical depression by the end of next week. As you can see, the chance of a formation decreased, so it's now 0.60. It has a 0% over the next 48 hours and a medium chance, 60% chance over the next 5 days. It used to be 70, so it looks like this might not pan out to form, but it's still a very high chance, I would say. It's a medium chance right now, but it's a quite significant chance that it will form in the 5-day period, depending on a lot of factors right now. Next here. There's actually a system in the Gulf that we're watching. Hopefully that won't form. Let's see here. And this is the path that this system will take. Let's see here. It looks like it's going to go right into the Caribbean. This system looks like it'll go right into the Caribbean. And there's another system we're watching in the Gulf, in the Bay of Campeche, I should say, and that's moving into Mexico. It might provide more rainfall in the Gulf region, regardless if it forms. Unfortunately, that's an unfortunate turn of events. That system, at least, does not have a high chance. It has a low chance of becoming a system, and probably won't. 10% chance. Trough of low pressure off of the southern East Gulf of Mexico. It's moving into the Bay of Campeche, and it's in unfavorable conditions, by the way, so that's why it has a low chance. So at least it won't be another hurricane or whatever, or another tropical system. So at least it will be weak. It's going to be very weak. But let's go ahead and show the entire Atlantic. The entire satellite imagery of the Atlantic. This is the system in the Gulf here. It's very weak. This is Irma. This is the current path of Irma. That is, it's been showing consistency in the forecast models. So I'm going to leave that there for a few seconds. So this is the current track it should be taking. And let me go ahead and zoom this out to the next area. There's more circulation with this area right now, which is interesting. However, Norma is in its way and it's providing for not so well conditions for it to form soon. So once this moves out, well, not in that area, it's not drawn to scale. Once this moves out, then this system will be moving into the Caribbean. And that's probably when it's going to form around that time range here. So let's go ahead and clear that up, everybody. That's your Atlantic tropical weather update. We'll be back here at around maybe 5 o'clock Eastern and 11 o'clock Eastern. We'll keep you updated with the timing. If we have breaking details on Irma, we'll go ahead and go live with that breaking news. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Cheryl, for joining us again with another tropical weather update. And thank you for our partners at Politics and Stuff. Absolutely. Thank you.